Hey, what's up, mortals? It's Miggy Sawdust here with a new video for you. Welcome to Season 1, Episode 4 of What If Izuku Was Stain's Son. Just wanted to greet you all by just saying, sit back and relax. You're in for a treat. Let's get started. Today was the day. Izuku stood there, backpack straps gripped tightly as the gates of UA loomed over him. He swallowed, then took his first steps onto the grounds. It almost doesn't feel real, Izuku muttered under his breath, walking up the stairs. His nerves felt like they were on fire, anticipation making him jittery. What if he failed? What if he froze up? What if... He tripped, falling face first to the ground. Or I can just die. Suddenly, his descent stopped. He was suspended mid-air, body parallel to the floor. Huh? He asked distantly. He heard a laugh like the sound of bells next to him, and turned his head to look over. A girl with mousy brown hair and rosy pink cheeks smiled at him, giving him a wink. Sorry about that. I just didn't think it was good luck to trip right before the entrance exam, you know? After straightening him up to land on his feet, she brought her fingers together, and he landed, gravity hitting him harder than he thought it would. Interesting. Anyway, she said, smiling again, I'm super nervous, so good luck, and I hope to see you at class. She then ran away, her hair bobbing back and forth with the motion. It took Izuku a moment to realize what had just happened. Holy whoa, I just spoke to a girl! With added confidence and determination to see her in class, he sped into the exam room, where he saw Bakugo already seated. Biting the inside of his cheek, he took the seat behind him, hoping not to be seen. After a little over 10 minutes, Cement Toss, the cement hero, came into the room, announcing that he would be their proctor. He told everyone the rules. No cheating, a given. Keep your eyes in front of you, also a given. And to not write anything after being told to lower your pencils. Most portions of the test were easy, with the grammar rules of English being Izuku's main problem. Really, why was English so backwards? They overcomplicated everything. General heroics, history, and humanities were easiest, but the most time-consuming, second to mathematics. By the end of the test, his hand was half cramped due to the need to write 5 essays and keep his writing neat enough to be legible. Next, however, was what they had all been waiting for. Heroics hopefuls, please make your way to the practical examination room, an automated voice called out over the rush of students going that exact way already. Izuku found it more claustrophobic than he'd like, but decided to deal with it instead. Looking around, Izuku could already tell that most of these kids, his competitors, had mutation-type quirks, and many of them powerful at that. Like one kid who had a bull-type mutation, or another who had 6 arms. Shut the hell up, or I'm setting you on fire! Casually threatened Bakugo, who happened to be standing right beside him, although there was no real heat behind his words. Izuku startled, glaring at him for a minute, then continued with the rest of the group, begrudgingly walking beside his schoolmate. They entered a large, dark room with rows and rows of seating, much like a university classroom. Please go to your assigned seating listed on your visitor badge, a pleasant voice said from the speakers all around them. Izuku was disheartened when he ended up following Bakugo to the 4th to last row and sitting beside him. From the looks of it, the blonde wasn't faring any better. After several minutes, the rows filled up completely, and the collective murmur of chattering echoed around them, with laughter or groaning here and there. Izuku took the time to write into his notebook, attempting to settle his nerves. There had been an interesting fight that morning, between a mud villain and a flower hero. The cool part was, his quirk caused hers to grow stronger, since all she needed was soil for it to work. Her plants became a sort of prison for him, since they stopped his movements and... What is up, everybody? Can I get an oh yeah? Elated, Izuku jumped to stand up and pumped a fist into the air. Oh yeah! He shouted, withering a little when no one else replied. Embarrassed, he sat down again, shoulders meeting his ears when he heard his fellows laughing around him. President Mike snapped in his direction, seemingly not affected by the non-response. Now that's what I'm talking about! Now, let's get to it, yeah? The voice hero then went on to explain the way the exam would work, which was much like a video game. The student hopefuls would need to get a certain amount of points in order to pass. In order to get said points, they needed to destroy robots, worth 1, 2, and 3 points respectively. Izuku grimaced, fear and doubt starting to roll in. How was he going to be able to get in with a blood manipulation quirk? Robots don't have blood. But maybe he'd still be able to win in some way? This was UA after all, and even the principal didn't have a physical quirk at all. Maybe he should have attempted to bring some sort of support item into the exam. Had he do that, he didn't know, but it would have still been worth a shot. And you! Someone illuminated by a spotlight above said directly to Izuku. Izuku jumped, shaken out of his thoughts. He turned around to meet the surprisingly older-looking teen. Midoriya blinked. Was he not a college student? The other boy was glaring at him. You have been muttering non-stop this entire presentation. I suggest you be quiet. Others are trying to pay attention after all. With that, he sat down, ignoring the laughing and sniggering that everyone was giving Izuku. The light above him turned off with a snap. Now, listener, no need to be so harsh, but to answer your question, that was no mistake. There is a fourth type of robot worth absolutely nothing, a zero-pointer. Your best bet is to just ignore it, you dig? Understood, the teen stood again. I'm sorry for the confusion. The hero just gave him 2 thumbs up. All right, it's time to start the exam soon. You can get changed in the dressing rooms and the doors to your right. Just follow the signs. He pointed in that direction. The lights turned on and everyone stood up. Real quick, can I get a last, oh yeah? Oh yeah. A collective murmur ran through the kids. It sounded pathetic and disinterested, but the hero seemed happy enough. Oh yeah! Awesome! That's what I'm talking about! See y'all during the practical! Good luck out there, everyone! Plus Ultra! This video is sponsored by Honey. Honey is a free browser add-on available on Google, Opera, Firefox, Safari. If it's a browser, it has Honey. Honey automatically saves you money when you check out on sites like Amazon, Papa John's, and Kohl's. Whenever you shop, it's a good chance that Honey can save you money. All you have to do when you're checking out at these stores is click that little orange button and it'll scan the entire internet and find you discount codes. If there's a coupon code, they will find it. And if there's not a coupon code, you can rest assured that you're getting the best price possible. If you install Honey right now, you can save like $50 to $100 on your shopping, doing nothing. There's literally no reason not to install Honey. It takes 2 clicks, 10 million people use it, 100,000 5-star reviews. Unless you hate money, you should install Honey. Thanks again for Honey for sponsoring this video. After having changed into his gym clothes, a black tracksuit with a green stripe along his arms and legs, he made his way to Gym Gamma. First arriving there, all he could think was, the walls are huge. But now he was becoming hazy in a sort of stressed way. Slapping himself on the cheeks, he began his stretching. During his final set, he realized the girl who had helped him before was standing in front of him. I wonder if I should cheer her on. He took a step forward towards her when a hand fell on his shoulder. Excuse me! The voice spun Izuku around, and Midori immediately felt his face turn into a flat expression when he saw the same rectangle glasses that had added onto his stress and humiliation minutes before the test. It's you again! Are you determined to distract everyone from the exam? He accused, voice raising in volume. Izuku tilted his head, slightly baffled. No? Why? That's your plan, isn't it? So that we're off our game and you have a better chance of success? Izuku pushed him away, forcing the hand off of him in the process. The blue-haired teen seemed shocked for a moment. Izuku glared at him. Are you determined to humiliate and distract me? He said, his anger getting the better of him. Blue-hair just balked at him. I would never, but that's what you're doing! Twice now! Look, I'm sorry if I distracted you earlier, but I was just going to thank that girl and cheer her on because it looked like she may need it. And because this is stressful enough without a hero wannabe trying to police other students and lower the confidence. The other student just stared at him, at a loss for words. A real hero would be trying to encourage others, but you're just telling me I'm doing everything wrong! Izuku turned away from him, only now noticing that a small crowd had gathered to watch the interaction. Suddenly self-conscious, Izuku hugged himself and walked towards the gate. So yeah, good luck, by the way. He could see the boy start to approach him from the corner of his eye when suddenly, the gate snapped open with a flourish. Everyone stared at it for a moment in shock. What? President Mike's voice said from the speakers around them. There's no countdown in real life! Go, go, go! And they did. Like a shotgun, everyone rushed forward, some with their quirks, others with their own speed. Izuku took a quick right turn and immediately came face to face with a three-pointer. The teen quickly skid to a halt, gawking at the looming robot with nothing to damage it. There was a sudden flash of light and the robot was down, a gaping hole inside its head. There was a laugh from an alley adjacent to him, and a flashy teen with a confident smile grinning at him. We make the perfect pair, mon chéri. You as the damsel and I, the hero. Alas, she shall not be seeing each other again, so I must bid adieu. He then ran back into the alley, leaving Izuku to seethe alone. Why was everyone being a jerk today? Growling in aggravation, he picked up a busted piece of metal and carried it with him as he ran. He met the gaze of two one-pointers and launched the metal towards them. It took out one of them, causing it to glitch and fall into the other, which destroyed it. Okay, 2 points with only 7 minutes to go. Horrible start. He kept that up for the most part, scavenging for things to destroy the robots with and using them. A student was running to the intersection of a street when a three-pointer appeared out of nowhere. The teen was already bloodied, short brown hair caked in crimson which dripped down the side of his face and onto his shoulder. Panicked, Izuku leapt towards him and pulled him back by the collar of his jacket, pulling him safely from harm's way. That robot almost crushed him. He didn't know he might actually die today. Izuku turned towards the teen, seeing the dazed expression. Quirk exhaustion or concussion? He wondered. Stay here! If you feel bad, you need to sit out, okay? The teen gave him a confused look before Izuku ran his hand against the still wet blood and licked it, causing the other student to jump back in either disgust or fear, but Izuku didn't care at that moment. Feeling his quirk activate, he motioned behind himself and pulled the blood off the teen, careful not to take any still in his veins. He ran out the alley and into the open road, turning the blood into a sharp spear and throwing it. The crystallized blood pierced through the robot and luckily managed to destroy the head. With a small shout of victory, he ran past the hunk of metal, using his quirk to manipulate the blood again. He then sought out anyone with blood on themselves, picking it up off the person to destroy more robots, as he'd lose them after each kill. He was starting to get dizzy, and he could feel his nose bleeding, but he had to keep going. He gave himself a moment to breathe, more like pant, before deciding that was enough of a break. He wasn't able to take 2 steps before the entire gym rumbled, and a hulking figure loomed over the entire area. Izuku looked up in horror, subconsciously releasing his quirk, the collected blood falling to the ground in an undignified splat. That was the 0-pointer? It was taller than any building around him, almost as tall as his home complex. Students began to rush past him, and he began to join them, until he heard a voice behind calling for help. It was the girl from before, blood running down her head and leg trapped under a large piece of rubble. The robot was heading straight towards her. Without thinking, he ran towards her, activating his quirk on the blood now half dried on the concrete as he went, hissing when half of it stuck in place. Luckily, he spotted another student who was running away, blood on his cheek, tangling his purple hair. He pulled him in close by the sleeve and, without thinking, licked the other's face, swallowing the red while the other blinked at him. Hey, what the hell was that, man? Izuku didn't respond, letting go of him and pulling the blood off his body, leaving the other to gape at Izuku as he ran towards the girl and slid to his knees, ignoring the sting to get a better look. Help! She started, exhausted and in pain. My leg! It's gonna be okay, he reassured, then brought his hand to her face, then to his tongue, swallowing her blood as the robot grew ever closer. He ignored her gagging and reached out a hand to her, then brought it in quickly, bringing his fingers into a fist. The blood quickly followed, then joined his collection. Izuku stood, then forced the blood into thinner strands under the debris. Ignoring his dizziness and unfocused vision, he turned it all solid, lifting the rock off her leg. She gasped in relief. Izuku held his position. He wouldn't be able to pull her away. Can you move? He asked, labored. He started to panic when she shook her head. This was bad. The concrete fell a little, and he had to refocus to keep the blood solid. Thankfully, just in time, the purple-haired boy from earlier showed up beside them and dragged the girl out from under the rubble. As soon as Izuku saw, he dropped his quirk, panting when his vision faded in and out, vertigo forcing him to stumble. A hurried arm quickly guided him to a side alley, where they barely missed the foot of the robot. The arm let go, and Izuku stumbled and braced himself on a wall. And that's time, folks! Woo! That was crazy! He sighed. It was over. Thank you all so much for indulging yourselves in this information thus far. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, there are a few things that I'd like to go over before the video ends. Firstly, I'd like to thank our patrons, BD Flames, Ethan Davis, Terry Chills, Shifter Meals, Adam Zazil, XAV Beto 3, Zill, and Joshua Phelps. Secondly, I'd like to thank all of our YouTube members, Toya Costa, Rob the King, Sith Lord 906, CF2364 and Knuckles, Rimu Tempest, Angel Juarez, Donald C. Stewart, Brian Greer, and Refik135. Third, if you're in the mood for some great storytelling, We the Celestials have got you covered. Our We the Celestials My Hero Academia and Naruto What If channels retell the story of their namesake anime with a twist. Check it out if you're interested. Fourthly, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in the production of today's excellent content. Their details can be found in the description below. Lastly, if you're interested in what we do here at We the Celestials, then I'd like to personally invite you to join the team. The only caveat being that we only accept members ages 16 years and up to join the crew. You can sign up for whatever category fulfills your interest by joining the recruitment Discord using the link in the description below. We're always looking for new members to join us. Well, that's it for today's video, so thank you all so much for watching, and have a divine day.